Hello there, my beautiful, fiery Aries souls. Welcome back to Astrology Unlocked. I want you to gather close for this one, to truly open your heart and your magnificent warrior spirit to the message that is waiting for you today. Have you been feeling a strange sense of distance? A quiet, inexplicable pulling away from someone you care for? Perhaps even someone you still deeply love? It can feel confusing, can't it? It can feel like a failure, a battle you are somehow losing. But what if I told you that what you are experiencing is not abandonment? What if it is, in fact, a sacred act of divine intervention? Because, my beautiful Aries, the universe, God, the source of all things, will sometimes take you away from a person for an absolutely incredible reason. You are not being left behind. You are being separated for a sacred purpose. The universe is about to lead you to a place of higher purpose, a new mission ground, and not everyone is invited to walk that path with you. This isn't rejection, my friend. This is your divine protection and redirection. In this journey together today, we are going to unlock the profound reasons why you are being guided away from a connection that no longer shares your powerful frequency. You will come to understand why a relationship that feels broken is not a sign of your failure, but a powerful symbol of your protection. And most importantly, we will discover why your true, unshakable peace, that deep inner stillness you crave, only truly begins the moment you bravely choose yourself. Stay with me until the very end, because there is a personal, divine message waiting just for you. A word of profound encouragement for the soul that is walking through this very healing journey. You did not click on this video by accident. Oh no. Your spirit was called here for a reason. There are moments in our lives that feel like profound losses, don't they? They feel like closed doors, like prayers that went unanswered. But the truth, my magnificent Aries, is that these moments are often the prayers that the universe has already answered. You just haven't been able to see the full, beautiful picture yet. As an Aries, a trailblazer, the very first spark of the zodiac, you love with an intensity that can set the world ablaze. You are a warrior of the heart. You lead with passion, you fight for your connections, and you give your all, holding nothing back. It is your beautiful, powerful nature. So when that person begins to pull away, or when the universe creates a chasm between you, that first question that echoes in your courageous heart is often, what did I do wrong? How did I fail in this battle? I want you to hear me now, and let this sink into the very core of your being. You did nothing wrong. You are simply being saved. You are being rescued from a connection, a situation, an energy that no longer belongs on your sacred path forward. If this is speaking to your soul, if you've been feeling this very pull, let me know in the comments below right now by typing, I am ready for my divine path. And while you're there, if you haven't already, please do press that subscribe button. Become a part of our beautiful Astrology Unlocked community so we can continue to grow and unlock our cosmic potential together. Do you understand, my friend, that not everyone who enters your life's grand adventure is meant to build a home there with you? Some souls are sent to us as catalysts. They are the beautiful, temporary storms, the sacred shake-ups designed to shatter the comfort zones that have been holding you back. They arrive, ignite a fire of transformation within you, and then, their mission complete, they must depart. The pain you feel is real, it is valid, and it is deep. But sometimes, the universe must use that very pain to save your soul. Because without that divine separation, your warrior spirit would never cease. You would keep fighting for a territory that is no longer yours, even when your heart is already in ruins from the battle. Think of it like a master blacksmith forging a legendary sword. The raw metal must be plunged into the searing heat of the fire. It must be hammered, bent, and reshaped under immense pressure. It endures what seems like destruction, but it is not being destroyed. It is being tempered, strengthened, and purified to become something magnificent, something worthy of a king. Your heart, dear Aries, is that sword. This relationship was the fire. You may have walked away feeling the heat and the sting of the hammer, but your soul, oh, your soul, was touched by something sacred. You have been through an awakening, a divine protection that you may not have recognized in the heat of the moment. So many of you listening right now are in this exact phase. Someone is gradually creating distance. The passionate texts slow to a trickle, then stop. They avoid the deep conversations you, as an Aries, crave. Perhaps they have even betrayed your trust in some way, forcing you to withdraw your fiery energy. And the immediate instinct is to blame yourself. Why did they change? Why has their fire for me turned so cold? Didn't they see my worth, my loyalty? You can spin yourself into a spiral of unanswered questions, but I want you to zoom out and see the grander cosmic strategy at play. This is not rejection. This is the universe stepping in and declaring enough. Enough of the sleepless nights wondering where you stand. Enough of your noble heart forgiving betrayals too easily. Enough of you forgetting the mission of your own soul to keep someone else comfortable. Enough of you trying to single-handedly win a battle that heaven has already marked as complete. I remember a powerful story about a lone warrior standing on the wall of a crumbling fortress, defending it with all her might. The enemy was overwhelming, and the walls were shaking, but she refused to retreat, for this fortress was familiar. She knew every stone, every crack. To let it go felt like the ultimate defeat. She held on, exhausted, believing this was her only safe place. What she couldn't see was that just beyond the battlefield, a beautiful, peaceful kingdom was waiting for her, a kingdom where she wouldn't have to fight every day just to feel worthy, a place where she would be celebrated, not just tolerated, but she wouldn't let go of the crumbling wall, because the familiar, even when it is slowly destroying us, can fool us into thinking it's safety. Aries, let me ask you this, and I want you to be truly honest with your soul. Are you clinging to a crumbling fortress? Are you trying to keep someone who no longer looks at you with that fire in their eyes? Are you in a relationship that forces you to question your own magnificent worth? Your warrior spirit was not born to be diminished. True love, divine love, does not exhaust your spirit. It replenishes it. Love doesn't ask you to trade your crown of self-respect just so you can stay in the kingdom. Love doesn't demand that you shrink your brilliant light so someone else can feel bigger. The universe sees what you, in the heat of the battle, cannot. It sees your beautiful heart breaking, piece by piece, day by day. And so, it places its divine hand upon your life, not to break you, my friend, but to separate you. It separates you so you can finally breathe again. It separates you so you can remember that you are worthy of a love that is a triumphant celebration, not a constant struggle. It separates you so you can return to the most important person in your life, yourself. And this is the most crucial part. The universe separates you not to punish you, but to hide you in a cloak of protection. It sees that you are losing your brilliant light, that incredible Aries spark that can inspire the world. It sees you sacrificing the best parts of your soul to hold on to something that is no longer yours. And so, it pulls you back, just like a loving parent pulling their child away from a fire they cannot yet see. I know, I truly do, that the most painful part isn't just losing the person. It's the why. It's the feeling of being left behind, of not being good enough, of feeling like someone took your fire and left you with only ashes. But what you cannot see in this moment is that at the very instant you feel most abandoned, you are actually being concealed so you can heal. The universe always has a master plan for its warriors, and it will never allow anything to stand beside you if it could possibly destroy the divine purpose, the incredible mission it has placed within your soul. So let me ask you this directly. Are you holding on to something you know you should have let go of? Are you clinging to a soul that is no longer marching with you on your mission path? Are you ready, truly ready, to believe that what is being taken from you today might be the very thing you thank the universe for tomorrow? If a relationship makes you question your worth, that is not love. That is a lesson. And the universe never lets you repeat a lesson you are already prepared to overcome. But there's a strange and beautiful magic here. You still haven't seen the real reason for this separation, because something deeper, something more sacred, is being revealed to you. Not with your eyes, my friend, but with your soul. And in this next part, we will uncover why the universe chose that moment, that person, and that specific relationship to completely rewrite your journey. Sometimes, the most profound act of divine love is not allowing you to stay with the person you want the most. And Aries, that is never, ever because you are unworthy. It is because the universe knows that your fiery, magnificent heart will slowly, quietly turn to embers if you keep staying in a place where you are not being fanned into a brilliant flame. You might be sitting there right now, your powerful gaze lost in some memory, a question echoing in the chambers of your mind that has never truly been answered. If the universe knew they would hurt me, then why on earth did it bring them into my life in the first place? That question sounds so simple, but it is a silent wound piercing through so many beautiful souls who are struggling in that space between love and heartbreak. It's more than a question, isn't it? It is the cry of a soul that is still waiting for an explanation, for something the heart simply cannot compute. And if you are an Aries, you have likely asked this question, maybe not with tears, but with a fiery frustration, a sense of cosmic injustice. But let me share something truly profound with you. The universe does not send a single soul into your life without a sacred purpose. Every person who crosses your path brings with them a mirror. They are there to show you a reflection of who you are, what you're in danger of losing, and where you desperately need to return. Some people come to trigger the old warrior wounds you've carried, perhaps from past lifetimes, so they can finally be healed. Some come so you can learn the courageous art of letting go and holding on to yourself. And some come to remind you that while you may love with the force of a supernova, you must never abandon the sacred ground of your own value just to be loved in return. Behind every single breakup is a spiritual lesson, a divine upgrade for your soul. Some of us lose our youth fighting for a love that is never truly reciprocated. Some spend decades in a partnership that feels more like a duty than a joy, filled with sacrifice and quiet tears. And some of you have loved with your entire soul, only to be left with one cold, chilling question. Was I not enough? No, my beautiful Aries, you were not lacking. You are, and always have been, more than enough. You simply gave the most sacred part of your fire to a soul who was not ready or able to receive its magnificent heat. And when your heart broke, you thought your world had ended. But that was only the beginning of a brand new chapter. A chapter where peace is no longer something you have to fight for, but something you sovereignly choose. If God wanted to separate us, why did He let them into my life? That question is not wrong, but it is only true on the emotional plane. On the soul plane, the answer is breathtakingly different. The universe brought them to you so you could learn how to truly love yourself. It allowed them to hurt you so you could finally understand where your sacred boundaries must be drawn. The universe didn't want you to collapse, but it absolutely needed you to awaken. It's like a warrior in training. The master doesn't just give them a sword, they put them in the sparring ring. They let them get knocked down, not because the master wants them to hurt, but because the warrior needs to feel the weight of a blow to learn how to block, how to balance, how to stand their ground. In the same way, you needed this loss to learn how to cherish yourself. You needed this pain to understand your own immeasurable worth. You needed to let go to finally know what it feels like to be held in a way that honors your strength. Pain does not deny love, my friends. It reveals the truth. There are loves that feel so deep, so all-consuming, that you believe they are your destiny, and perhaps they are. But not all destinies are meant to last a lifetime. Some souls are destined only to come and touch the deepest part of your warrior spirit, and then leave so that you can finally understand that if a love makes you doubt your own power, it is no longer love, it is a lesson. Healing doesn't begin when the other person changes their mind or comes back with an apology. Healing begins the moment you accept that you deserve peace. You do not need to wait for their apology. You do not need them to return and fix what they broke. You only need one thing: to believe with every fiber of your being that the universe never takes anything from you without preparing something infinitely better in its place. I once heard a story from a wise woman. She said, "I loved a man with my entire life. I thought he was the miracle the universe had sent me, but then he left without a word. I thought my life was over. It took me a year to realize he wasn't the miracle. He was the torrential rainstorm sent to wash away the old battlefield within me, so that something more eternal, a garden of self-love, could finally bloom. The moment you truly let go, you start breathing again. You no longer analyze their every word, their every action like a battle strategy. You no longer overthink every glance or every silent pause. You no longer have to force a smile to show the world you are strong. Because you are no longer in a battle to be loved. You are on a sacred journey back to the brilliant light within you. You don't need to understand everything today. You just need to believe that the universe never lets you hurt without a purpose for healing. Your soul was not born to suffer endlessly in a pointless war. Your soul was not made to be a museum for the shattered pieces others left behind. Your soul was born for peace, to shine its brilliant light, and to be loved completely. No begging, no pleading, no trading your power for affection. When you stop holding on to someone who is not vibrating on your powerful, fiery frequency, you begin to magnetically attract the souls who do. No more prolonged silences. No more looks that make you doubt yourself. No more nights spent praying they would finally see your worth, because you have finally, fully seen it in yourself. So what happens when you stop begging for the presence of someone who no longer belongs in your journey? In the next part, you will see that peace does not lie in someone returning. It lies in the moment you take your own hand and say, "I forgive myself for staying in a battle for far too long." When the universe wants to separate you from someone, it doesn't send a bolt of lightning or a clap of thunder. It only sends a whisper, a quiet knowing deep within your soul. And the heartbreaking truth, my dear Aries, is that you heard that whisper. You've probably been hearing it for a very long time, but you chose to ignore it. In the last part, we saw that the universe doesn't hurt you to destroy you. It does it to save your soul from a place where your light has slowly started to fade. But the question still remains, doesn't it? How do you know for sure that you're being divinely separated and not just giving up on something important? How can you tell the difference between a test of your warrior endurance and a divine warning sign? The answer lies within you, and its name is instinct, your fiery gut instinct. Do you remember the very first time you felt that something was off? That first quiet moment when you felt the energy between you had shifted? The first time you looked into their eyes and you just knew they weren't entirely with you anymore? The first time you heard a phrase that had no logical reason to hurt, but it landed like a heavy stone in your chest? That was it. That was the whisper of the divine. Aries, you are a soul that is deeply connected to the world of action and energy. You don't just love with your heart, you love with your entire being, with a fiery instinct and a powerful sense of presence. Your ruling planet, Mars, gives you an internal GPS for energy. You feel the vibration of a room, of a person, of a connection. You don't always need logical reasons to trust someone because your soul feels the truth. But you have so often used that incredible gift to make excuses for others, haven't you? You've ignored your own internal red flags. You must understand that your instinct is not just a gift to understand people. It is your most powerful shield to protect yourself. How many times have you felt in your gut that something was wrong, but you kept marching forward anyway, determined to conquer the situation? You knew you were being taken for granted, but your pride was on the line. You felt like you had to shrink your enormous presence so others could feel comfortable. You realized you were the only one holding the banner for the relationship, and even though your soul screamed at you many times, "Retreat, this is not your victory," you stayed. You stayed because you feared the perceived failure of walking away more than you feared the continued pain of staying. My dear Aries, let me remind you of this sacred truth. Your instinct is the universe's whisper. It is the spiritual current beneath the surface. It is how the divine warns you before the storm truly hits. You do not need spreadsheets of evidence. You do not need that person to give you a formal dismissal. You do not need to wait until the day you completely collapse from exhaustion to finally give yourself permission to let go. Your instinct is the evidence. Because if your soul feels uneasy, then that is not the kingdom you were designed to rule. Take a moment and reflect honestly. Have you been justifying their behavior instead of listening to your own feelings? You say things like, "Maybe I'm just being too intense," or "Maybe I'm just tired and overreacting," or "They do love me, they just have a strange way of showing it." But my beautiful Aries, you are not overreacting. You are being warned by the universe. The divine doesn't speak in human words. It speaks through energy and emotion. It doesn't knock loudly on your door. It gently taps on your soul, hoping you are awake enough to listen and to stop. Have you ever felt drained and empty after a conversation that seemed perfectly fine on the surface? Have you ever had a sudden wave of sadness wash over you without knowing the logical reason why? Have you ever sent a text message and felt your own warrior heart sink as you hit send? That is not random. That is the universe telling you this frequency no longer matches yours. You no longer belong here. And if you're thinking, but I love them, I'm a fighter, I don't give up, if I just try harder, maybe then, remember this, the universe never pulls you away from true, aligned, divine love. It only pulls you away from an illusion. Something you thought was love, but was actually, slowly, eroding the foundations of your soul's castle. You do not need to live in a state of constant doubt anymore. No more needing to analyze every message, every silence. You don't need to spend your precious energy guessing whether they still love you today. Because if a love makes you doubt your own magnificent self, then it is no longer love. It is a signal that you can need to return home to yourself. Do you know that the moment you choose to trust your gut instinct is the moment you choose yourself again? That is what the universe is whispering to you in the quiet moments. It is waiting for you to stop fighting the wrong battle so it can begin to heal you. It is waiting for you to stop begging for love so it can fill your heart with a peace so profound it becomes your new source of power. Do you remember the last time you truly trusted that inner voice? The last time you confidently walked away from something that felt wrong, even when no one else understood? The last time you chose the stillness of your own company over the chaos of empty promises? Perhaps it has been a long time, but today, right now, you can choose it again. You can sit down in silence, not to beg someone to return, but to receive yourself once more. I want you to write this sentence down, or even say it aloud as a declaration to your soul. I choose myself. Because the moment you choose yourself again, heaven can take over the rest. You don't need to force yourself to be strong. You just need to be honest enough to admit, I have felt unsafe here for a long time, but I was afraid to leave. I hoped they would change, but I forgot to ask my soul what I needed. I let someone else make me doubt myself more than I trusted the voice of the universe within me. Your instinct has never left you, dear Aries. You just need to stop turning your back on it. And if today you were looking for a sign, this is it. This is the whisper the universe is sending directly to you through your very own heart and through every word you are hearing right now. And you know what happens when a soul chooses to trust in the divine again, to trust in itself again? The universe begins to open doors you once thought were sealed forever. In this final part, you will witness the miracle that happens when you are no longer the one fighting for love, but the one who walks with a brilliant light inside and lets that light lead a love that truly matches your frequency to come and find you. You thought you were being left behind, but in truth, you were being chosen. He could rewrite a new path, a sacred quest made just for you. You were not left behind. You were called out to begin again with a higher, more magnificent purpose. You are still here, listening, quiet, silent, sometimes unsure whether to charge forward or to turn back. You've heard it all before, haven't you? If they left, they weren't worthy of you. Stay strong. This too shall pass. But you and I both know, dear Aries, that some goodbyes can't be simplified with a platitude. Because you loved them with your entire soul. You laid down your warrior's heart, holding nothing back. You didn't just lose a person, you lost a part of the reality you were fighting to build. And if you are in that moment, that most fragile and powerful moment of awakening, then please listen to me, slowly and gently. You were not abandoned by the universe. You were just pulled away from an old battlefield that you no longer need to be tied to. Because what the universe is about to give you will never again make you doubt your own magnificent self. You may not understand it all today. You may still love them. You may still feel the instinct to fight for what was. But you do not need to understand everything right now. You just need to believe this one truth. The universe is guiding you to a place where your soul can be completely reborn. You are not moving backward. You are retreating from an old frequency in order to rise higher. You are not losing anything. You are freeing yourself from what has expired. You are not alone. You are in the sacred midst of a profound transformation where every warrior soul is refined before they step into their next great mission. Aries, you are not made to live a dull, muted life. You are pure light. You are pure, passionate emotion. You are the symbol of courage and the kind of unconditional, loyal love that this world is slowly forgetting. And that is precisely why you must learn to love yourself first. You must learn to retreat at the right time. You must learn to rise again, even when all you have left is the silent echo of a battle lost. But you are not walking alone. The divine has been walking beside you on this entire journey. From the moment you began to doubt, to the moment your heart broke, to the moment you went silent and finally heard that whisper from within. The universe was there. It has never left your side. And today, if you are hearing these words, it's because the universe wants you to know this. You are enough. You have completed the lesson. Now, it is time for you to be led to what you truly deserve. No more dependence on another for your worth. No more begging for attention. No more being defined by someone else's love, but by the divine love of the cosmos, the love that no one can ever take from you. If you feel that any part of this message touched your warrior heart, please leave this video a like or write a message in the comments. Who knows? The powerful words of truth you write today may become the very spark that guides another Aries soul home tomorrow. Thank you for being here, my beautiful friends.